Morning. So today I'm going to try and get a moon and plane shot. I'll just run through my setup and how I go about it. With here's the gear I'm using. I've got a Star Adventurer tracker, which makes things a lot easier for tracking the moon, which is in that direction through the power lines there. And I know that there's a flight path of anything from Sydney to Melbourne is usually flying along there, so that's something I'll try and aim for when the moon's at that sort of elevation, increase the chances of getting that sort of shot. And with the Star Adventurer tracker, I can have it set on the moon rate, so it's tracking at the rate of the moon, and I won't be constantly adjusting it on a regular mount, any sort of adjustments to keep the moon in frame. So that's why that's a lot handier. Can be done without it, but yeah, it's a bit more fiddly. What else have I got here? So I'm roughly polar aligned to the south with my tracker, so that that keeps tracking nicely. I've got the Canon RF 800 lens, which is set at f11, and on the Canon EOS RA. I'll go through some of my settings there. It's standard f11, and I'm using 1250 shutter speed with an ISO of 3200, and I can shoot single shots, and which is not too bad when I see a plane lining up, or I can just go multiple burst shots and then go through them on the computer later and see which one lines up properly. A couple of things I use to try and increase my chances of getting a plane transiting in front of the moon is to, as I just mentioned before, know a regular flight path. For me, at the moment, I'm sort of aiming for Melbourne to Sydney flights, which are usually coming through around that elevation. So I have my tablet there with a plane tracking app, and it's letting me know roughly when any of these flights are coming past. So I'm looking to get something around where this one is here at the moment, and which is towards the west where the moon is at the moment. But that one's not lining up. But there's a Melbourne to Sydney flight there, which will be sort of in my line of sight with the moon in about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. And what else do I have to help my chances? That's about it. I think these power lines are a bit of a pain in the ass, but hopefully I get a shot in between. Sometimes I see some wedge-tailed eagles flying around over there. There's only a block or two, and then it's the bush, and they're soaring nicely, and yeah, that'd be a great shot. Sometimes hard to see the planes heading towards the moon where you'd like them to be, but it's probably better on a colder day where they're leaving vapor trails so you can see them approach. There's a bit of a warm one today, so a bit harder to pick. Anyway, this flight should be getting pretty close, and see how we go. So this is the Canon Camera Connect app, which I use to take the shots. I don't want to do that on the camera itself, firing off the shutter and causing any sort of vibration. So I'm connected to the camera via Wi-Fi, and I can just go into remote live shooting, and there's some clouds in the way at the moment, which is great. I love clouds. Anyway, so and I can adjust all my settings on here as well with my ISO and shutter speed to what suits best, and just fire off like that. Away I go. Doesn't look like I'm getting any planes today, so a bit unsuccessful, but that's the way it goes. So I'll tack on a few shots that I've had previously, just to show how they do turn out when everything lines up. A few variables there you need, but certainly helps your chances with knowing a regular flight path and what elevation they're at, having a plane tracking at, having a using a star tracker to make sure that the moon's in focus, in frame the whole time. I'm also shooting at an aspect ratio using the full frame as opposed to cropped, so that I can catch something that might be flies within frame, gives me a better chance, and I can crop later on the computer. Anyway, thanks for watching to the half a dozen people that do. Anyway, cheers. See ya.